welcome back everybody. Welcome back to the moth-hawk project, and today I need to double check something. Everything is working fine. Apparently not everything is working fine as I think it would be, but yeah. Welcome back to the moth-hawk project, and today we're going to be working on getting the last bit colored in and then get to doing the drawing part, and hopefully we can get another addition of wood connected to it. So yeah, I hope everybody's gonna be enjoying that, and somehow I totally failed at doing my job properly. Today I was like, well, not fully failed at doing it, but somehow YouTube is somehow YouTube's links don't work, and I'm a little bit confused about that. So that's why I said that. Anyway, so let's get started on this bad boy, shall we? The main issue I had with this was that I am working towards getting all of this done, so I should definitely get the first color colored in, and then get the rest of it in colored, and then we can, once we draw that, wait, we're still in the drawing phase, so I'm gonna be doing the coloring first, because it's actually quite easy. It doesn't require a lot. It does create the effect that I want anyway. Alright, that will save a lot of problems. Now we're gonna go back to the pencil mode, and then that should fix the last bits up. So 3.6, and we can start doing the coloring. No, well, the drawing part. So yeah, apparently the link doesn't work or show up properly on Discord. I have no idea how that worked, but oh well. It's always good to see that, you know, you're trying to do something and then things don't go your way. You know how that is gonna be ending. And I feel like, and I'm using the wrong color. Oh boy, that's never a good sign. 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 It happens, it happens, it happens. As I said before, I'm not fully awake right now. Well, I am fully awake, but I'm not fully awake on, you know, making no mistakes. So, that kind of idea. So today, it has been a rainy day actually, and I'm trying to get things up and running properly, but sometimes things don't go well, or well, you know, you have like rain in the way of doing your regular stuff. And it's really annoying. It's just really annoying to see that, you know, you're trying to do your ultimate best, and then the damn water is not taking a total not your side. And I always like to have, you know, doing stuff and then suddenly, you know, my whole schedule gets ruined. That is like, not my favorite thing to do. Normally I would have done my daily walk, but today I could not do my daily walk because, well, heavy rain is not a very advisable condition to go outside and do some walking. Probably tonight I will, but it's already late, so I should do it tomorrow at least, and hope for better weather tomorrow. Or go earlier. Probably one of the two might be the best idea. So as I said before, the whole idea of, you know, getting the tree up and running is actually quite easy then. I'm very happy upon the reward, or on the result I'm already getting. It's just, you know, it is already Wednesday, and it's already getting far better than before. I'm already a lot more energetic than beforehand. So it means I'm getting good on the recovery of, you know, being stressed out Monday. Oh well, it happens. Well, it was not a fully stressed out idea. It was more like getting energy drained because I had to learn something kind of idea. And you know, that takes some time to recover from. And a train doesn't help with that. So now, so that we're doing this properly, This is how I should do it then, right? Yeah, I should. Alright, now that I have this done, I can now continue doing and search for all the stuff that I need. It's quite lovely to see that, you know, I'm trying to do my very best here to get this drawing up and running properly. And, you know, getting the drawing in such a state that it looks decent. Well, the background at least. And that takes time. And I really enjoy, you know, just drawing this and getting from point A to point B. The main issue that I have right now is just that, you know, it just takes so long to get the process done because, well, the tree is big. If it would have been a tinier tree, then, well, you know, things would have gone way faster, I think. Like the same thing as I'm now doing with the drawing I'm working on in the off time. I'm working to get the eyes done properly. Because I was like, yeah, I like these types of eyes, but I don't like the eyes like how I like them properly. Well, I don't like the eyes how they are now currently positioned. I like them how they are, but they're not fully functional as eyes that I want to use for later on. So I'm trying to get the eyes properly done. The main issue is that I then need to get some how do you say that? I need to get that all done properly, so I should get... What is it again? I don't know, but I will find out what I will find out what I need for getting that thing fully finished. The main issue is that I have problems with the eyes, drawing the eyes in this kind of effect. So I want this kind of look. And then I need to figure out, like, where do I want the eyes? Do I want the eyes, like, in such a way that they only are something like this? I think that's the way to do it. The main issue is that that will make things look way creepier than they should be. And I need to make sure that I keep the cuteness in the eyes while keeping my own art style. And that is a very hard thing to do. Or getting... Well, at least... It's a hard thing for me to do, at least. Of course, I'm trying to do my very best here. But the good news is that I'm trying to do my very best to get things up and running properly, so no need to worry about too much, honestly. And just try to do my very best to not get too much of a hassle while working on things. And I'm very fond of how far I'm at already, because, well, I have been drawing a cat that I want to draw because, well, I want to continue working on the same idea as I did with the flame bird. So I'm using the same idea set of, you know, making 3 attack patterns and then, you know, combine that with the cat, combine that with a cat. So I have this idea of, you know, making this cat image and then use that cat image multiple times. Well, you know, the cat model multiple times in different images of different idea sets. So, like, you know, I want these cats to have like an ability. So therefore, I should definitely give these cats like a golden nap. So, you know, they steal fame or fortune from somebody and then, you know, use it there for their own goods. So technically they are stealing stats. Because by stealing your money. Because they literally eat it. Because it acts like catnip. Catnip. There you go. So, yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, how I want to represent these cats. And I know already what I want to do with these cats. I want these cats to be like these copycats. So these cats are, the more cats you see, the more the more worrisome it becomes, because, well, you know, if you see one cat, then there probably are more, and the more cats there are, the more cats there will be in the event later on. And that's the idea of these cats. So they're cute looking cats with a devious smile, and then, you know, these cats are probably going to be very problematic to deal with if you don't remove them from the source of money, or like gold, coins, anything that has good value, that is metal-like. Maybe also diamonds. I don't know. Maybe I will go for that as well. But yeah, these cats can copy themselves, well, and then they use money to copy themselves. And the more cats there are, the more worrisome it becomes. So they should be definitely a devastating idea, or they will be problematic. As long as you have money, of course it is. Once you're broke, then, well, you don't have to worry about these cats stealing your money, but, well, it's cute, but you should not give it to somebody who has a lot of money, because, you know, they're gonna be broke in no time. Because the more money you have, the more faster the kitty cats will become. And that's the whole fun part of it. Well, at least that is what I think it will be, the funny part of it. It's at least the whole idea of what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I'm trying to improve upon it. I already improved upon the fur of it, so the cats look decent. Now the only thing I need to do is then, well, you know, implement the cool animations on it. Oh well. It's a thing that one or two things that can go wrong is not that bad. I'm very happy upon how much I already achieved from just looking at it. Or well, working with it at least. So the whole main idea here is that, you know, these kitties are like, whoa, scary. But yeah, that's what I've been doing anyway. That's a thing that I have been doing for quite a while now, and I hope to improve upon that. So yeah, I've been working on some drawings while working on a moth-hawk. And the moth-hawk is always the one that comes first, and then the rest comes second. The main downside of the moth-hawk is that it is a big object. It's a really big one. A really big one. I should definitely erase this to 8, yes. But yeah, the moth-hawk is like a very big project that I need to work around, and it takes so long to get things up and running with that thing. But eventually, you know, everything will works just fine. I just need to figure out like what I need to do with it and how I need to do it and how I will compare the other parts of this drawing with it, and then, you know, we will get there. Eventually we will get there. It just takes time. Now, the main idea here is that I'm just trying to get everything up and running. Once that is done, alright, there you go. So we need to, around here, we need to quit. Yes, so we're gonna do that, and then we can start doing the drawing part. Well, the coloring part. So as I said before, it takes some time to get this thing up and running, but eventually, you know, the final result will be better than the rest of it anyway. The main issue I have right now is that, you know, this thing is so huge that the whole project is like very time consuming. Well, I have all these other ideas in my head that also want to have attention. And like, you know, when you want to give other things attention, then, you know, other things are gonna fall behind. I'm trying to prevent that from happening, and therefore, you know, I always try to keep on motivated from the moth-hawk, so that I don't get overflown by the other things that I also want to show you guys. But, you know, eventually I will show you guys what I've been up to anyway. I just need to, you know, take it slowly and take it steadily, so that, you know, all of this doesn't fall behind. And the more I work on this, the better it gets. Probably gonna live stream some at Saturday. Yeah, that would be actually a quite smart idea. Just, you know, get to Saturday to show you guys how far I have been with the cat as well. Even though, you know, the cat is not fully done, I can show you guys what I've been up to with it. But yeah, So now I have done this part, and now that is the last part that I need, right? Yes. And then we need to continue with the rest. Alright. So I'm going to be filling up this, and then I'm going to be coloring it. So yeah. It's a lot of work. But once the work is done, you know, all of this will be so much worth it. And I have been working with this for a long time. I believe now already we have now 152 days in. Yeah. So almost half a year. Almost half a year. But it doesn't matter really. It's a big project. It's a big project if you want to stream every single one of them, you know, just stream every single day. Stream every single day, working on it every single day. It is a big thing. It's a big bird, and requires a lot of attention. But of course, with attention also comes, you know, that you need to make sure that you're aware of all the downsides of this attention. Like for instance, that other things might go not being shown while, you know, you're working on this. And I'm quite aware of that. I'm quite aware that, you know, I'm busy doing this and that other things might, you know, slip by me, like, ah, yes, I could show you guys this, I could show you guys this and that. And I'm not too bad at, you know, showing you guys off other things, but I always want to show you guys the best things later on. So what I'm going to be doing is probably once I have the first picture of the cat done, I will show you guys what I've done, and then probably I will get to the other three, and then I will work on the other three drawings while working on the moth-hawk in the evening, so that you guys can see like, oh well, this is cool and that is cool. After all, the cat is like what? 3 hours of work and then 3 hours of work again, so now it's like 8 hours of work in total, and I'm already that far in, so it's not a lot of time that has been consumed by the cat or by any other drawings except this one, because of how the art style works, how drawing works, how the design works. Most likely the design took the most time because of I have never drew a cat before. And then I drew a cat, and I'm like, yeah, I'm satisfied, because you know, I have a different kind of art style, and that totally doesn't work with the art style nowadays. I believe it's not just my art style, so therefore, you know, it works a bit. It is just a little bit different. It's more toony than the art style that normal manga and anime works around with. So it's quite different, and I like it. It's quite different. I like it. It has a different feeling to it. It has more cheerful feeling to it. It is more joyful. Even though, you know, I might, you know, add some things in that might be a little bit, you know, less joyful, but they are still joyful. It's more like how do you say that? Sweet evil. There you go. You know, it might be evil, but then still it looks sweet. And then therefore, you know, it looks kind and joyful to look at. Even though, you know, the creatures that I have drawn might be, you know, destroying an entire building, it looks cute while doing it. So yeah, that's the main idea. That's the main idea, and I like it. Of course, you know, I'm not involving any blood or any I'm not involving any blood to those kind of drawings, because, you know, why should there be blood? It's not like, you know, it needs to be. It just needs to have this cool looking feeling to it, and blood doesn't give that joyful feeling towards it anyway, so why should I draw it? But yeah, I'm gonna be trying to get that drawing done, and then I can show you guys what how it looks and how it looks in a game, so that, you know, you guys can feel like, ah, well, that looks great, and then I'm also very happy upon that. So yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great, cool little copycat. The whole joke about it is actually that, you know, they create copies of themselves. That's why you call them copycats. Not because they can mimic other creatures their ability. They just copy. They just literally copy themselves, which is quite cool. So I would probably use them in combination of different creatures that I come across. If I would add them into a game, I would probably use them in different combinations. So you have a copycat and you have a different kind of creature with it. Most likely something of a goblin or something like that. Something that is very greedy, like a mimic. A mimic chest. Yeah, that would actually quite be cool. You know, the mimic provides the gold, the copycat creates copies, and then, you know, the cycle of copying continues. And then, you know, you have a whole damn squad of copycats suddenly. Once you look away. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. I mean, really, I'm trying to do my very best here to get things up and running and started, and I think I'm doing pretty well. Even though, you know, I might not be the best at this. So yeah. It's almost December. Once that happens, I'm a very happy guy because then there's a lot of chocolate in the air. Not because of Christmas. That's the most funny part. It's like, yeah, Christmas is all great and such, but have you ever heard about the first days of December? Well, good chocolate. Good chocolate lettuce. Lots of chocolate lettuce. I'm really fond of those things. It's one of my favorite food to have, you know, chocolate letters. You know, you get these letters that are representing your first initials and all that stuff. Ugh, they're the best. They're the best. Especially if they're made in a chocolate, especially if they are made in a chocolate bakery. Oh. Luckily, here we have chocolate bakeries. So I don't have to look far and wide to find a chocolate bakery. They're quite cheap, and that's the best part of it. They're cheap, affordable, and they produce good food. Oh well, I mean, chocolate food, that is, of course. It's quite fun to see that, you know, I'm actually working on this very much, and everything is working just fine. I'm very happy upon this. I just need to get everything up and running and started. The main issue that I have right now is that, you know, we're trying to get all of this wood to be represented. And the more I'm working on this, the better it gets. But the more I work on this, the more heavy it gets on my head because, well, you know, because we're zoomed in so much, and, well, you know, you cannot, if you don't, you just can't get that amount of detail if you zoomed out that much. And if I zoomed in, and because I'm zoomed in so much, my head also overworks. And that's my main issue that I have all the time. Like, when I do drawings or doing coloring, my head gets like, oh, well, you see all these flashy colors? Well, surprise, surprise, your head is gonna be collapsing from, you know, seeing all of it. It's a very nasty thing, but it doesn't kick me down. It doesn't keep me down at all because, you know, I'm trying to be I'm trying to be the very best here. And I'm trying to be better than everything else. Of course, you know, I'm never fond of, you know, copying somebody else's homework. So, you know, learning with trial and error is my type of cup of tea. Because I really like, you know, just learning how to do stuff. Even though it might be exhausting me later on, that doesn't mean anything. It means that I learned, and that is more important than anything else in the world. Because if I learn stuff, that means that the next time I do it, I know how to do it. And that is important. That is important big time. So as you can see, I'm trying to do my very best here to get everything up and running and started. The main issue is that, you know, all of this hard work doesn't fall on deaf ears because eventually it all pays off. Therefore, I am already happy working on it. And I don't really care if my head just spins and round and does whatever it needs to do to keep itself afloat. I know when to quit because, 1 hour is 1 hour. That's the main goal. And it's fine. I might not be the one that can do like drawing work for 5 full hours in one go. That's like, might not be able to do that. I am not reaching that goal. I'm just reaching the goal of, working out at a drawing for at least 2 hours, then take a rest, do a walk or whatever I need to do, like, going to the restroom and then work again for 2 hours. I'm taking my own breaks. But the main issue I always have with the main issue that I always have is like, yeah, I could look at this. I could look at this work and see like, well, how much time did he spend on this? Well, probably he spent only 2 days on this. Yes, but how long did he spend those 2 days? Did he spend full 2 days? Then the answer is most likely yes. And I'm like, well, if I would do that, I would go insane. And yeah, my head would be totally spinned out and I would have a burnout in no time. And so I stopped trying to compare myself to other people when it comes to those kind of things, Work, I admire people's work, that's for sure. But I also admire my own safety. Because, the more safer I am, the better, things get. So keeping in check my own desire to do better, and keeping in check my own desire to make sure that I don't knock out myself, it's a very important thing. I'm already very fond upon how people are already doing the drawings and how people are drawing. It's very fun to see that, people have different art styles and those art styles can, totally work. Of course, other people might think like, well, if you have this art style, well, then, you should do it more. Yes, definitely. But I need to keep myself in mind that, yeah, my art style is a very complicated piece of, well, it's a complicated piece because most of this requires a steady hand and a lot of patience. Because as you can see, it's a big amount of, drawing and then using the coloring to get from point A to point B. And that is the main issue. It takes a long time. And I cannot do that instantly, I cannot just snap my fingers and be like, yep, I'm done. I'm already done. Let's continue. No, I can't because, well, I'm stuck on the heavy detail part. And the more I work on this, the better it gets. Yes, true. And I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy that, that the moth-hawk is already done. And now only the background is the only thing that is left standing. Of course, since that the moth-hawk is the only thing that is left standing, since the moth-hawk is already done, and the only thing that's left standing is just, the coloring part of this, well, the background part. It gives me already satisfaction to know that, the moth-hawk is done, so therefore I am already halfway. Because, the moth-hawk was a big giant piece, and now we're just going to be doing this piece. And we're almost there, We have now successfully drawn this part right here. Today we have succeeded at, getting to the next part, so we're almost there. We're almost there. 2, 3, 4 days maybe. 5 days maybe, but yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. 5 days, 5 days of 1 hour a day. Well, that's 5 hours in total. That is not a lot. So if you can take it in consideration that I actually only worked for 570, I believe, or 160 hours on this. So technically, if you divide it to hold on, 24 times 7 is how much days is that worth of drawing. I don't have my calculator right now, so I'm gonna be head thinking. 7 times 24, 140 hours. So 1 week, 2 weeks. So probably I already have worked on this for at least 2 weeks in total. So I only have worked 2 weeks in total on this, in time-wise. But in time-wise of, you know, the time that I actually have used for it. So only in, like, if I would have think of like, yeah, only 1 hour a day, that means like, you know, 150 days instead of 150 hours. But that 1 hour a day, you can already see like how much I learned from just, you know, 1 day. It's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. And sometimes, you know, sometimes days can go hard. Sometimes days can go easy. It all depends on the situation at hand, and therefore, you know, you need to make sure that you have leverage between those days. Like for instance, right now, I have leverage because I had a problem at work because because I had to learn stuff at work. So therefore, my mind was already overloaded with all the information. So it was not a problem. It was not a problem at work. Well, it was a problem at work when the timer reached 3 hours, but it put a dent into my system. But it did not make me like, well, today I'm gonna not draw. That is exactly what I did. But the next day, it was already less. It was already like, oh, well, I have energy now. Congratulations. And if I would have forced myself to do the drawing, I would probably be like very tired and I would not be able to do talk or do anything actually, and not be productive. So always keep that in mind when you are learning stuff. You probably will be tired afterwards because, well, the new information is gonna be learned, and learning takes energy. And it's quite funny to see that, you know. Let's see. So the more I learn about this, the more I see, the more I know. It's great. It's great. You see, the main issue that I have with this drawing, I'm just trying to do my very best here to get this part right here done. And well, you know, keeping on talking just to keep on make sure that I'm doing the job what I do. And that is making sure that the tree looks cool. The tree needs the cool factor. The tree needs all of this lovely little stuff, all these rimples, all these little gaps, all these gaps in its grooves. And it is good to have, you know, a drawing. It's good to have, like, you know, a drawing that works like that. It's good to have, you know, all of this. The effects that lie between the drawing itself and all the stuff I did. So as you can see, it already looks so much better. Allow me to just double check. Wow, 30 minutes in. All right. Oh well, almost 35 minutes in. So once this is done, you know, we will be at the 45 minutes. We will be at 40 minutes, and then, you know, I can show you guys the little kitty a little bit and then call it a day probably. Because our goal was today, as I said yesterday, was getting to the end point of this. That was the goal. Now, because I set a goal, it means that if I achieve the goal, I can work further, or I can celebrate by, you know, saying like, yes, I completed the goal. I will take the celebration, of course. Because you always need to celebrate when you come to a part that you're like, oh yes, I finally did this, and then, you know, you have like this big achievement, which of course, you know, gives your head the rest of like, well, you actually did this, congratulations. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, head. And then, you know, the head is like, yes, thank you, and, you know, the stress will be relieved. That's how it works, I think. That's how brains work. So by setting the goal of, making sure that I have, because I set the goal of like, yeah, I want this thing to be finished right here, and there, and there, and there. That is my goal for today, and baby steps will save the day. And exactly that just happened. Baby steps. Of course, it might not be a lot, baby steps is not always a very really progressive thing, you just did a baby step. It's like, oh, you just did one little bit. And I'm like, yes, I just did a little bit. But that bit got me further than if I would have done a big bit. So technically, tiny bits help. So the more I do, the more steps I take, the less problematic it gets. Because eventually, if you add up the baby steps, like 1 hour a day of work, setting those goals of 1 hour work, and then be like, oh well, I completed this work. Oh, that was not that hard. And if you would have set that goal like multiple times, then you will be like, no, not that goal. And then you look up to it. And because you look up to it, down to it, up to it, right? Because you're literally thinking that it is way too hard. Yeah. So because you think it's way too hard and you would never be able to reach it, you will get demotivated and eventually you would quit the project because, well, it was too hard. Because you could not reach that goal in time. And since that we only set the goal to finishing this part and getting to the part where we were left off with the drawing, so we finished this part and we left off there, that was our goal. So if we finish that goal, then, well, we're like, oh, well, we've just finished a goal. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, we did. And then, well done, me. And then I would say, thank you, me. It's a great way to bolster your mind, being like, yeah, don't get tired, mind. You already did your job. And then, you could just, have less stress in your head. It's really helpful. It's mindfulness. It's very important. Positive manipulation at its finest. And because you're doing positive manipulation, it means that your outcome is going to be positive. That's why it's called positive manipulation. It's one of those easy things that you can keep in mind while working on a big giant project. If you just do the tiny bits and then add those bits from time to time, you will get your project done way quicker if you do like a big giant chunk of it. Also, it is very advisable to just split the work and then, split the big work as well. So that, you do just tiny bits of the big work so that you get to the point where, it all adds up. And once it all adds up, it will look like a finalized project. And that's the main idea. Well, I think that's the main idea, at least. So yeah. I'm very happy upon how far I'm already at with this, because, the moth-hawk itself was a big giant pain in the ass to do, because, well, that thing, all that kind of work with all the drawing tiny little bits and the proportions, don't get me wrong, don't get me started on the proportions, and then the big giant hands and legs, all that stuff. Ooh, very spooky stuff. It's very good that we are now to the part where we are. All these trees, all these little bits of tree parts. It's lovely to have all of this, honestly. And I'm very happy upon how far we got already with it all. And the more I do this, the better it gets, so don't worry about it too much. So once the tree is done, since that we are almost there, we're going to be putting our next goal today, and our next goal is going to be done by tomorrow. That's the idea, at least. So, what is our next goal? Well, our next goal is, of course, going to be getting to the point where we want to be. So we want to fix until right here. So this needs to be drawn. This part needs to be drawn. So today we're gonna fix getting that point. Yes. So tomorrow we're gonna be drawing this part, and then hopefully we will be able to get the first base coloring in. So draw this part until this part. That's our main goal tomorrow, and then start coloring it. Yeah, and then coloring is then the next day. Yes. So We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days away. I did my calculation a little bit wrong. Oh well. Anyway, then we have the big giant tree done. Then we're gonna do the pretty thing that's gonna be called leaves. Ooh, very spooky. So yeah, I think that's it for today. And how much time do we have left? Oh, we do have some time left. We have 5 minutes. We have 10 minutes left, so I can show you what all has been up to. So yeah, behold. Ta-da! So yeah, I did a little kitty cat. Looks so cute. And this was the picture I took with myself when I made. So I made this back when I had a pause break, and I thought like, yeah, I could make this into a live scratch, into a 3D artwork. Oh well, not 3D. I mean 2D artwork. The main problem was that the proportions here were a little bit odd, and I need to have the original style that I used for the flamebird, so I could use this also for the cat. And eventually, once I had that kind of positioning and how I would be able to draw for done and learned, well, you know, this was the end result. And now, once this is done, I will need to figure out if I would put some eyes here, and that should be. And then I can then finally start with getting the effect done. Alright, no, we don't want to save. Alright, so we're gonna save this bad boy because that's important. That's really important. And let's see. So, since that we now have successfully done the part where we need to be. So since that we have successfully done, we went from here to there, and now we're gonna be over there. So yeah, we are now done with that part. And now we're gonna go over here. Alright, so yeah, as you already noticed, my head is getting heavy because, well, you know, I did a lot of work, but yeah. So once this part is done, once this whole drawing is done, I'm gonna be doing the leaves, and I have a feeling that once we're gonna be experimenting with the leaves, I'm gonna be trying to do the same thing as I did with the flamebird on the kind of effects that's gonna be going. So what I'm gonna be trying to do is, how do I do this? I can do it right here. So I will have a big giant blob, blob. There you go, blob. A big giant blob, and then draw, and then use the pencil tool to get over it, and then use this tool to get to that part. So I will use this to outline it. But of course, I'm not going to be outlining it big time, so I'm going to be going like this, that, and then once that is done, I will erase the rest of it, and then you have like this effect. There you go. Now we have actually kind of a leaf, and then, you know, like that. Probably gonna be going like such a way, but of course I need to make sure that I do it like multiple layers. So I'm gonna be doing multiple drawings with multiple colors of leaves, and then that should work. Ah, man, that's gonna be such a pain in the ass to do though. But it will be worth it. It will be worth it. Anyway, that's the approach of the leaves. Check. That's the approach of the leaves. I will probably come back to it later because, well, we're not yet there. So yeah, the tree is almost looking fine. As you can see, it looks gorgeous. It feels like a tree. It moves like a tree. It goes up like a tree. And yeah, we are probably gonna be adding some shading here and there to give it more like a very big, robust feeling, but for the rest, looks good, looks great, not gonna lie. And yeah, once that is done, we can then finally get up to this part and then start with the leaves. And then once the leaves are done, I will probably start doing the other side tree. So I'm gonna be doing the other side of the tree as well. The main idea is that this tree is gonna be different than this tree. And why do I want to do that? Is because if every tree is unique, it will all be. It will feel not as It won't feel like a symmetry. Well, it feels like a symmetry, but it won't feel like a real symmetry. So it is not like, you know, everything is statist. And we don't want. We want a lively forest. We don't want a dead. We don't want to have like a planky forest. We don't want, you know. It's a forest, all right. It represents a forest, but it doesn't, you know, feel alive. And then, you know, everything goes bad with it. It's very annoying that, well, you have like you have a drawing, and then the drawing doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel alive a lot. And I want to prevent that from happening. Therefore, you know, because of that, I want to draw the whole tree manually again. So we're gonna go again with the same thing, but we're probably gonna do it on the. We're probably gonna be getting this tree fully done. Then we're gonna collapse the tree fully, so that it's only the tree, and that we can zap out and zap in the tree, so that it doesn't get affected by anything else anymore, and we can just move it everywhere we want. Doesn't matter. But the idea is that we're gonna collapse the tree. Then we're gonna add a new tree, and then once those trees are done, I will collapse that tree as well with all of its attachments. So like, you know, color, shading, line art, and all that stuff. So that once we have, so that the file will be compact. So that's the whole idea, at least. It's the whole idea. It can't, because we want to keep this under 11 GB, because nobody wants to have an 11 GB product in their library sitting like, hey, I'm taking a lot of space up, and that's annoying, because, you know, we still want to draw more than just only the moth-hawk, of course. So yeah, anyway, I think that's it for now. I hope you all have enjoyed, and thanks all for watching, and I hope I'll see you all next time. Until then, I wish you all a lovely day, and bye!